The blood stained his hands, a macabre testament to his sin. Yet his pulse remained steady, his heart strangely calm. He had crossed the line, transitioned from hunter to hunted. He was Detective Michael Harris, and this was not his investigation. This was his confession. Michael had always walked in the shadows, a guardian against the darkness. Years spent dissecting crime scenes, chasing monsters, had left their mark. He knew the secrets, the whispers of violence that haunted the night. And now, he would become one of them. His gaze fell upon the still figure in the opulent armchair. A woman with fiery hair, now eternally stilled, her eyes forever closed. His wife, Eleanor. His victim. The perfect murder, he thought, the irony twisting his lips into a humorless smile. The very skills that had made him a celebrated detective had paved the way for his downfall. Michael Harris, the brilliant detective, was a man of contradictions. On the surface, he was the epitome of professionalism and dedication, a beacon of justice in a city plagued by crime. He navigated the labyrinthine corridors of the precinct with an air of quiet authority, his every step echoing the confidence of a man who had seen it all and solved it all. His colleagues often marveled at his ability to remain composed under pressure, a trait that set him apart in the chaotic environment of law enforcement. His sharp mind unraveled the most complex cases, piecing together clues that others might overlook. He had a knack for seeing patterns where others saw only chaos, a gift that had earned him a reputation as one of the best detectives in the force. His colleagues admired him, his superiors lauded him, and the media couldn't get enough of his stoic demeanor and steely resolve. Awards and accolades came his way, each one a testament to his skill and dedication. Yet, with each passing day, the weight of these expectations grew heavier. Behind the facade of the impeccable detective, however, lurked a man teetering on the precipice of obsession. The cases that once fueled his passion for justice now gnawed at his soul, leaving him restless and haunted by the faces of victims he couldn't save. Years of dealing with the city's underbelly, witnessing the depths of human depravity, had eroded something within him. The darkness he fought against had begun to seep into his own psyche, blurring the lines between right and wrong, justice and vengeance. The line between right and wrong had blurred, the boundaries of morality fading into shades of gray. Michael found himself questioning his own actions, wondering if the ends truly justified the means. The scales of justice, once a clear symbol of his purpose, now seemed to tip unevenly, reflecting his inner turmoil. Nowhere was this internal struggle more evident than in his relationship with Eleanor. Their once passionate love had become a battleground, a place where his need for control clashed with her desire for freedom. Their marriage had been a whirlwind romance, a passionate affair that had quickly devolved into a suffocating dance of control and resentment. The love that had once burned brightly now flickered weakly, overshadowed by mistrust and anger. Eleanor, a woman of independent spirit and artistic temperament, chafed under Michael's increasingly possessive nature. Her creativity, once a source of joy, became a point of contention as Michael's obsession with order clashed with her need for spontaneity. Their arguments became more frequent, their interactions strained, the air thick with unspoken accusations. The home they had built together, once a sanctuary, now felt like a prison, each room echoing with the ghosts of their past happiness. Michael, used to order and control in his professional life, found himself unable to cope with the chaos that Eleanor brought into his meticulously crafted world. The disarray of their home mirrored the turmoil within his mind, each out-of-place object a reminder of his failing grip on reality. The seeds of resentment, once sown, took root in the fertile ground of his obsession, slowly poisoning his thoughts. What began as a desire to protect and provide had morphed into a need to dominate and control, a transformation that left him isolated and tormented. As Michael sat alone in the dimly lit room, surrounded by the remnants of his cases, he couldn't help but wonder if he had lost himself in the pursuit of justice. The faces of the victims stared back at him from the wall, silent witnesses to his descent into darkness. He picked up an old photograph of happier times with Eleanor, a tear rolling down his cheek. The image was a stark contrast to their current reality, a painful reminder of what they had lost. In that moment, Michael realized that the cracks in his facade were not just in his professional life, but in his personal life as well. With a heavy heart, he walked away from the wall of memories, stepping into the darkness that had become his constant companion. The city skyline loomed in the background, a reminder of the battles yet to be fought, both within and without. Michael Harris, the brilliant detective, was a man on the edge, struggling to hold on to the fragments of his shattered world. The grand illusion of their perfect life was nothing more than a fragile facade, a delicate house of cards waiting to collapse. With each passing day, the cracks in their relationship grew wider, and the illusion crumbled a little more. Eleanor, feeling suffocated and trapped in a life that no longer brought her joy, sought solace in the arms of another. She found herself drawn to a charismatic artist, a man who seemed to understand her in ways Michael never could. This artist awakened a part of her soul that had long been dormant, filling her with a sense of passion and excitement she had forgotten existed. Michael, on the other hand, began to notice subtle changes in Eleanor's behavior. His suspicions aroused, he decided to put his detective skills to use. He meticulously examined every detail, every clue, determined to uncover the truth. It wasn't long before he found the evidence he was looking for. Incriminating text messages, love letters, and other signs of her infidelity were laid bare before him. The revelation shattered him, leaving him feeling betrayed and utterly devastated. The betrayal cut deeper than he could have ever imagined. His carefully constructed world, the sense of order and stability he had worked so hard to maintain, lay in ruins. The rage simmered within him, a toxic brew of hurt pride and possessive fury. He couldn't shake the feeling of anger and resentment. His mind raced with thoughts of revenge, and he found himself consumed by a dark obsession. He started noticing every little thing, every detail that hinted at her betrayal. The lingering scent of sandalwood and bergamot on her clothes, the stray brushstrokes of crimson and gold on her canvases, the whispered phone calls she thought he didn't hear. Each detail was a fresh wound on his ego, fanning the flames of his growing obsession. The scent of her perfume, once a source of comfort, now served as a constant reminder of her betrayal. He would find himself inhaling deeply, trying to catch a whiff of the sandalwood and bergamot that clung to her clothes, each breath stoking the fire of his rage. The brushstrokes on her canvases, once admired for their beauty, now seemed like taunts. The crimson and gold paint, colors that once symbolized their love, now represented the blood and betrayal that stained their relationship. The whispered phone calls, once a sign of intimacy, now felt like daggers to his heart. He would eavesdrop, straining to hear every word, each conversation a fresh wound that deepened his sense of betrayal. His frustration grew with each passing day. The rage in his eyes was unmistakable, and he found himself lashing out in anger, punching walls and throwing objects in a futile attempt to release the pent-up fury within him. He couldn't let her go, couldn't bear the thought of her being with someone else. The images of her with another man haunted him, driving him to the brink of madness. His obsession, twisted and possessive, began to whisper a dangerous solution. The idea of taking matters into his own hands began to take root in his mind. He envisioned himself as both judge and executioner, a god who could decide who lived and who died. The thought brought a sinister smile to his face, and he began to plan his next move with chilling precision. He saw himself as the arbiter of justice, the one who would right the wrongs that had been done to him. The scales of justice, once a symbol of fairness, now took on a sinister twist in his mind. He would be the one to deliver the final verdict. A plan started to form in his mind, each detail meticulously crafted, each step calculated with chilling precision. He would leave nothing to chance, ensuring that his plan was foolproof. He spent hours drawing detailed diagrams, preparing the murder weapon, and going over his plan again and again. Each step was carefully thought out, each move designed to bring him closer to his goal. He would plan the perfect murder, a crime so meticulously executed that no one would ever suspect him. As he lurked in the shadows, knife in hand, he felt a sense of power and control that he had never known before. The time had come to put his plan into action. His meticulous nature, once an asset in his pursuit of justice, became a tool for something far more sinister. His eyes, once filled with the light of righteousness, now gleamed with a dark, unsettling intensity. The wall before him, a chaotic collage of notes and photos, was a testament to his descent into madness. He began researching poisons, their effects, and their traceability, immersing himself in the macabre world of toxicology. Each page he turned, each note he scribbled, brought him closer to mastering the art of silent death. The allure of poisons, their silent, invisible lethality, fascinated him. He delved deeper, learning about the subtle nuances that could make a death appear natural. He studied forensic techniques, learning how to cover his tracks, how to make death look like a tragic accident. He pored over crime scene photographs, dissecting every detail, every piece of evidence. He learned the art of misdirection, how to plant false leads, how to manipulate the narrative to his advantage. He chose a rare, fast-acting poison, easily mistaken for natural causes, ordering it online under an assumed identity. The vial, small and unassuming, held the power to end a life in mere moments. He marveled at its simplicity, its efficiency. The anonymity of the internet provided the perfect cover, allowing him to acquire his deadly tool without raising suspicion. He planted evidence of Eleanor's lover's visits in their apartment, crafting a narrative of a crime of passion. A note here, a piece of jewelry there, each item carefully chosen to paint a picture of betrayal and jealousy. He knew that the police would latch onto this narrative, their investigation clouded by the emotions of a supposed love triangle. He rehearsed his alibi, ensuring every minute was accounted for, every witness carefully chosen. In front of the mirror, he practiced his lines, his expressions, his demeanor. He enlisted the help of a trusted friend, someone who would vouch for his whereabouts, someone who would provide the perfect cover. His apartment, once a sanctuary of shared dreams, transformed into a macabre stage for his twisted play. The rooms, once filled with laughter and love, now echoed with the cold, calculated steps of his plan. Crime scene markers and staged items littered the space, each one a piece of his dark puzzle. He moved with the precision of a seasoned conductor, orchestrating each element of his plan, his mind a whirlwind of calculations and contingencies. Every movement, every action was deliberate, each step bringing him closer to his goal. He reveled in the complexity of his scheme, the intricate dance of deception and death. The weight of his actions, the sheer audacity of his plan, did not escape him. He often found himself lost in thought, contemplating the enormity of what he was about to do. The anxiety gnawed at him, a constant reminder of the stakes, the risks. Yet, he pressed on, driven by a dark compulsion. Yet there was a thrill in the meticulous execution, a perverse satisfaction in subverting his own expertise. Each note he wrote, each item he arranged, brought a twisted sense of accomplishment. He was no longer just a man, he was an artist, crafting a masterpiece of malevolence. As the day of the planned murder approached, a chilling calm washed over him. The storm of emotions, the anxiety, the fear, all seemed to dissipate, replaced by an eerie tranquility. He felt ready, prepared for the final act of his dark play. The world outside continued as usual, oblivious to the horror that was about to unfold.